Yeah. Council meeting will follow meeting order and right.
Liberty and justice for all. Councilor Capola. Councilor Foster.
Here.
Councilor Pianessa.
Here.
Councilor Rizzo.
Here.
Councilor Rosso.
Here.
Councilor Each. Here. There you have quorum.
We'll get it straight. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get it. Get it. So takes a while. Okay, well, we have a presentation tonight. We have a couple folks that have made Eagle Scout, and myself and Donna and Charlie were able to go to their ceremony Saturday, which was fun and great to see. The success they've had and certainly their projects that they've done. So unfortunately, one of the Daniel Barnett can't be here unfortunately tonight, but he's going to make a future meeting. So we look forward to that. But we do have Jamison Evans with us. So, you know, I think I'm going to go up to the podium and read the proclamation. And we'll present it. Jamison, and then Jamison can have the floor for a moment, and whatever, the floor will be yours. Whatever you want to say, you can say. It doesn't have to be anything about your project. Just talk about whatever. No. Whatever you want to say, be your time. So, Town of Berlin Town Council proclamation. Be it hereby known to all that the Town of Berlin hereby recognizes Jamison Evans on achieving the rank of Eagle Scout, Boy Scouts of America. Jamison Evans is from BSA Troop 24, sponsored by the South Kensington Fire Department, and he attends Berlin High School. His Eagle Scout project consisted of adding a large paver surround for a camping fire pit at Hatchery Brook for use by town youth groups and the community. He obtained approvals from the Berlin Conservation and Wetlands Commission. And his scouting highlights include serving as a senior patrol leader, participating in a 63-mile canoe trip in Virginia, which is always impressive to keep reading that. That's interesting. And hiking at Gettysburg, which sounds like fun. Outside of scouting, Jamison is a high honor student at Berlin High School, pole vaulter, break dancer. We like that one. And priest at his church. We like that one too, of course. In recognition of your commitment to your family, community, and upholding principles of Eagle Scouting, Town Council congratulates Jamison and extends best wishes to him and all his future endeavors. That was dated March 4th, which was the day of your ceremony by myself. So congratulations. Come on up. Good job on your project.
Let's do a photo op again.
Sure, let's do a photo op. No, what's always got to have a lot of photo ops.
He's learning.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, we got the handshake and everything. It's all in there. We good? We good? So there's your so the podium is yours.
So. Probably a little show and tell for tonight, so if you'd like to take one and test.
Came prepared. Excellent. That's why you're an Eagle Scout. That's the very reason.
So, like, Mayor said, project was done at Hatchery Brook. It was kind of a site that has been worked on for quite a few years now in this troop, Boy Scout Troop 24, with basically Dr. Rocker Puri and his sons has been working on this project, and it's been passed down in his family basically. And I guess I'm part of that now because I also worked on this project there. It was a lot of fun to work on and get through all the approvals. Well, maybe not fun, but interesting to learn the process and everything. Conservation Commission, I went there and gave a whole presentation talking about what I was going to do, what possible concerns might be, and why I might need to get approved. Thankfully, it all went smoothly, nothing too heavy on paperwork, which is good. And Charlie Payne to help us for a majority of the project. He was there for as long as I was at the campsite, and he was just big help and able to be there. And this project kind of, there's some fun components and I guess a little behind the scenes I'll share. We started the project and I didn't realize there's 3 sets of paperwork for the actual Eagle. I didn't fully complete the the preparing before I started the actual Eagle. So I had to get the same signature, the signature saying I finished the preparation on the same day that we did the Eagle Scout project. So that was a fun race to get. And then I was able to do the actual paperwork for during the project and then post project, which also a lot, but I was very grateful for all the people that were able to help me, all the people, all the scouts in Boy Scout Troop 24 and the leaders there, and also my friends at school. They're able to come and help me out. This project is kind of a huge part of my life right now, and it taught me to be a leader and how to basically, go through the motions, challenges that come to me, be able to take them on head on and to, overcome them and to show leadership and compassion for others. I think my favorite leadership moment was finding a thing for one of the younger scouts in our troop, Jacob, to do. He's very active. He's like very excited to help and always willing to. And I just couldn't find something to do until I realized, hey, he has a lot of energy. Let's just, lead that to doing something that's productive. So I had him clear shrubbery and, he might not be able to handle like some of the heavier things at the moment, which I was very grateful for other scouts to do. But I realized, leadership isn't about having the strongest people doing the strongest thing. It's working as a community to get things done. And that's the life lessons I learned from my Eagle Scout project. That's about it.
Excellent, excellent. Very good, very good. Very nice, very nice. Yeah. And yeah, thank you very much for coming tonight. And we're proud of you. We've been proud of, we've had, many Eagle Scouts come before us with projects and other young people with different projects for the town. And, to learn certainly the things you just spoke about, you've learned, and as far as volunteering, that's, Berlin, as I said the other day, I spoke at your ceremony, it's a community of volunteers, right? From the town council to all the boards and commissions to so many people in town volunteer, food bank, wherever. So it's great that our young people are learning that lesson young, and it's all, great for the community of Berlin and wherever you end up in your life. So yeah, great job.
Thank you. Can I say something?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll just note parenthetically for the new members that Jameson is the son of a former colleague of ours, Dave Evans. And I see Dave, the proud dad there. Congratulations. And Mom, congratulations.
Yeah, obviously, Mom and Dad did a nice job with you so far. It's looking really good. It's looking really good, which we would expect from you. So we appreciate what you've done.
Dad
for
got to
yourself.
help with the project a little bit.
Did he? Did Dad help out a little bit?
Jameson let him, yeah.
Yeah, I know. This is great. So
Thank you.
congratulations again, and good luck in your future. I know it'll be a bright one. So great. Okay, on to our audience of citizens. If anyone here, whether on Zoom or in the audience, the massive audience we have tonight, standing room only, if you have anything to say to the council about anything, what's on our agenda, or anything else in town that bothers you, now would be your time. So wait a moment, see if anybody's interested. I don't know if there's not too many people on Zoom. So, okay, we're not hearing anyone raising their hands anywhere, so we'll go ahead and close our audience of citizens. Good night, folks. See you guys. See you, Dave. See you, Robin. See you, Jameson. The mayor's update. Okay, we have the mayor's update. That's me. What the hell? I don't know what I have to say tonight, but no, just a quick question. So, Roche, we need that cannabis meeting is March 30th, right? That's the date we picked?
March 30th.
And that's at the, where's it, high school or?
High school, because the middle school stay
Oh, McGee was, okay,
at 6 o'clock, and
6.
Jennifer is working on some language we're gonna put out.
Oh, good.
Citizens for the couple of weeks.
Oh, good, I was gonna-
I put it on the Facebook.
Yeah, okay, good.
Some,
Yeah.
people who come and attend.
Yeah, well, that's what,
The whole purpose, right?
that's what it's for. So we hope to get that out to the folks and, you know, they could come and express their opinions.
Yep.
Because we want to do what the community is interested in doing. So, okay, good. That's good. So week or two, and we're still a couple of weeks out, 3 weeks out, but
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
yeah. Okay, that's good. Nothing else. Well, we did have, unfortunately, right, we had a fire this weekend, and one fireman was right injured, but it was a ankle,
Hairline fracture.
hairline fracture of his ankle, right? So he's
It's fine.
doing fine. Good. So we're happy for that, and thankful for our fire department always to get out there and handle these fires, which is horrible. That house looks like it was pretty much, I don't know, it's the total, I don't know, looked pretty bad on the pictures. I saw some pictures on the news this weekend, I think about it, but looked pretty bad. But I know they had a tough time fighting that fire, so glad everyone else is all right. As long as everyone's safe, that's the main thing. So that's it for tonight that I could think. We're in the middle of our budget season, folks, you know that, and you know, Board of Finance is working on the budget. We had a budget presentation last week from the Board of Finance and at the Board of Finance meeting from the town, obviously, and Kevin Delaney and Roche and the Board of Ed too made their presentation to the Board of Finance, and they'll be working on their budget, and we'll have the public, when's the public meeting is what, later and end of March, right? The public, when's that? Our budget meeting.
Yeah, that's, that's March, 28th.
28th is the budget meeting. Okay. All right. Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday that, and then the 30th is the other meeting. Okay. All right. That's at the high school too, I'm assuming? The budget meeting?
Middle school.
That's the budget meeting is at McGee?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
6 o'clock.
That's at 6. The other one's at 6 at the high school, the 30th. Okay. Okay. Well, let's move on to our agenda. We have our consent agenda first. There's only a couple items on it tonight. Accept a donation of $1,100 and appropriate the funds to the diving equipment expenditure account. That's the police department. And number 2, approve the request by the Berlin High School Riding Redcoat Cycling Club and Cycling Connecticut Cycling Advancement for a bike ride to take place at Hatchery Brook Conservation Area on May 21st, 2023. With the conditions that the applicants work with the Conservation Commission to assure that the trails are in condition to accommodate a bike race and that the trails will be fully restored after the race. Noticing given to surrounding properties as described, traffic management be coordinated with the police department and the associated fee waiver for the police services provided for the event. So that is our consent agenda for tonight. We'll go ahead and counselors I know have reviewed it. We'll go ahead and take a motion on that.
I move we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Second on that? I appreciate that. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote on the motion. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. On to our new business.
Great, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first item on the agenda is the 2023-24 Mattabesett Sewer District Budget Presentation. Brief presentation from Mr. Simonian.
Welcome, Art. How we doing? How's it
It's
going?
good to be back in my old town here,
Mm.
Berlin, former Public Works Director, so
Yeah,
thank you again for having me back. With me, our Chairman, John Dunham could not be with us tonight, he was unfortunately ill.
oh, okay.
So David Bauer from Middletown,
How are
the
you?
Vice Chairman
Oh.
of Mattabesett District, so he
Thanks
is
for coming.
joining us. Intentionally or by accident, I'm not sure, but either way, he is here and will serve as backup for me.
Great.
So,
Keeping the Mattabesett running.
yes, yeah, David is.
Everything's going well.
He's got a lot of passion for Mattabassett and what we do
Good.
there, so.
Good.
He's on our engineering committee as well.
Oh, great.
Keeps us engineers in check.
All right,
So,
glad you're
um,
here.
So I want to start by just a little background. Mattabassett is the sewer treatment plant that serves all of Berlin, Kensington, water control and Worthington Fire District besides Middletown, New Britain, Berlin, and Cromwell, and a little bit of MDC in the Newington section by Home Depot, that Rocky Hill section. So we're actually the third largest wastewater plant in the state of Connecticut. A lot of people don't know that.
No, really.
Serve about 140,000 people. So pretty large plant in the state standard. So very important asset for Berlin and this central Connecticut community. It's been around since 1968. And the plant was upgraded really, it was built in 68, upgraded again in 89 and again in 2012. So about $200 million spent over those last two major upgrades. So, but you know, wastewater is probably not going away anytime soon. So pretty important asset for the town. So each year we come to Berlin as well as the other communities to present the budget that was already approved by the both by the finance committee and also the Mattabassett Council. We do a little summary for you guys each year of kind of some budget notes, some highlights, and then you'll see the agenda item itself with the one-page description. This year, our budget was primarily driven by a higher capital cost on some major projects. We typically don't have this large of an increase in our capital, but I believe the capital went up pretty significantly. About 11% was the overall budget, and I think the capital was even higher than that, about 61%. And part of that is because of one major project we're doing. It's a grease skimmer project that's going to actually remove the grease from the top of our primary tanks. These are 1 million gallon tanks. And they serve to allow the sludges to settle to the bottom, but the grease and the other particles end up floating to the top. And there's no automated system to remove that. So we're doing phase one this year, and phase two is in next year, starting in July. We saw probably about a 30 to 40% increase due to inflation in those costs, mostly due to materials. So that's a big part of it. But the good side is we're actually not raising our rates to reflect that. We're actually using about $1.5 million of reserves that we had built up over the last 5 to 10 years to help offset that assessment. So that's kind of a good thing there. Some of the other major drivers for our budgets are our debt's actually going down. It's a good thing. We refinanced part of our 2% Clean Water Fund loan a couple of years ago when the rates were really low after COVID. So we refinanced part of that debt, saved us about $800,000 over the course of the next 20 years. But we're also facing huge chemical costs increase. We use a lot of chemicals at the plant. Our budget went up almost $500,000 on a $18 million budget. That's a pretty substantial percent increase. So electricity, we actually kept pretty flat. We paid back on a energy project. This is the third year that we just finished. So we were budgeting $300,000 annually. So that project is now complete. And so we didn't have to really finance anything further on our electricity. There are increases coming, we think, from Eversource on distribution. So same with natural gas. So some of the other drivers are also our pension plan. We're with the state on the pension plan. That went up from about a 19% contribution to 23%, which only sounds like a 4% increase, but it's really about a 30% increase. So that was pretty substantial. And but we have some younger employees that come on board, so that should hopefully save on salaries as well going forward. Berlin, one of the benefits that Berlin realized when Middletown joined the district, David's community, is that there was a buy-in fee of $13 million. And Berlin's been getting a credit on their assessments every year. This year's credit is $135,000. But to date, Berlin has received $1.9 million in credits due to Middletown joining the district. So that was what they received so far, and it's still not done yet. There's still another, about 8 years left on that. So, some of the other points on the budget, really in terms of operating costs, we tried to keep that relatively in check. On my budget sheets, you'll see there's a line item that I do, budget without capital or electricity. It's a 4.6% increase. So if you pull out that capital number, which again is quite large, it's about $1.5 million increase. The budget increase is about 4.6%. And before we use reserves, we also did like a mock budget of what it would be for Berlin and the other communities. And don't quote me on the number, but Berlin's assessment was going to go up, I should say this pretty quietly, I think over about 11.5%,
Ouch.
which would have been your increase. But because we're using our reserves, it's going up about 5.5%. You see that on this highlighted
that one,
yellow
yeah,
sheet.
yeah.
I try to highlight the percentages and where Berlin is compared to the other communities. Main reason Berlin's numbers are higher than the other ones, I'm sure everyone's saying why the highest is, your 5-year average flows still have gone up. So, half the budget is based on your 5-year average, wastewater flows. The other half is based on your reserve capacity. That applies against capital and debt. So, doing what you can for your 5-year flows, controlling the infiltration will make a difference in that. Not a huge needle mover. You're not going to probably save $400,000 or $500,000 a year, but over the course of, 10 or 15 years, you may end up saving $1 million. So, so I would just keep, and I know Ray's here too as well, and he's tuned into that as much as I was when I was here. So, and I know you guys are dealing with Kensington and Worthington too as well. So keep up the work on that. And at the bottom of my first page with my budget notes, I indicate we're using $250,000 for lower expenses and then $750,000 from reserves. Actually, it's that I noticed we actually increased that once the finance committee looked at some of the numbers, we actually increased that to $500,000 of operating excess revenues and $1 million of reserves. See it on this first small print page. So we're using $1.5 million of our $19 million budget out of reserves essentially. So that's about 5% right there. And again, we're working with the state of Connecticut too on a renewal of our permit. Our NIPD's discharge permit is still being reviewed. We're working pretty closely with our engineering committee at Mattabassett to try to get this approved relatively soon. We had some strong comments back to them and we're waiting for the response. It's been going on about 2 years now. We've been going back and forth and waiting on their legal response. Right now they look at anything that is in excess of our full treatment capacity as a violation, even though we partially treat the higher flows when we get wet weather storm events. We can't fully treat all our wastewater. So we have to partially blend it. And we meet all our effluent numbers, but unfortunately the state looks at that as a violation. So we feel strongly that it's not a violation and that we're able to still meet all our quality standards for our effluent. So we're in discussions with them about that and hopefully we'll hear back from them soon. Essentially that's it. Again, we try to keep things in check. This year was tough because of inflation. And obviously, I know people are obviously dealing with it at homes as well as, in businesses. So, but I think the 5.5% increase was pretty reasonable considering what we're facing with increases as well. Oh, and you'll see in your package, just to put in perspective, we do like a 10-year budget comparison from 2014 to 2024. And if you look at 2018 to 24, our budget average increase over those 6 years is 4.3%. Berlin's was 6.7. So some of that was driven by some higher numbers in certain years, but even when you see a tough year where the percentages are higher, we try to keep our averages pretty reasonable. So it looks like this budget comparison on your last page. Hopefully I didn't take too much of your rest of your meeting time.
No,
Thank you.
No, we appreciate Art, you coming and going over this with us and helps us understand where we have to go in Berlin and things we need to do. So appreciate that. Ray always tells us too. Ray always informs us as well. So appreciate you coming.
Very good.
Yeah. Questions for Art? Any questions?
Thanks, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. have
All
a
right.
good night.
See ya.
All right, let's move on. Then item number 2, I see Mr. Ferraro there.
Hello there, how are you?
Yeah, hold on just a second, Joe. I'll turn
Hey,
it
Joe.
over to you.
Hi.
Has to do with the Board of Assessment Appeals alternates. As you know, every 5 years, we do a reval and the appeals tend to be higher during the appeal years, the reval years. So the they have the Board of Assessment Appeals have asked that we appoint 2 alternates to be appointed during this season. There are 2 names that have been recommended, and that's for your consideration. Anything else you want to add, Joe?
No, that sums it up. We've used Stuart and Jim in the past as well for the last reval, and it works quite well.
In what, can I ask?
Yes, absolutely.
Just
yes.
in what instances would you use an alternate versus those that were elected by the town?
The alternates help alleviate the number of appeals during the reassessment program because we have a time frame in which to complete the process.
It just alternates take on additional the workload. The regular folks won't be able to handle. It's a volume issue, right, Joe?
Correct. And this year, actually, the one of the members is out with surgery. So they're actually short a member as well.
Can I ask? How many appeals do we usually have on a reval year?
Well, it varies. This year we had 184. And in the past, we've had 300 to 400.
In the past,
Last previous revals, 2000, I think it was 2002, we had I think it was like 400.
so we do this every 5 years, and we went from 300 or 400 appeals 5 years ago to only 100 this year,
184,
184.
correct.
Yeah, it's half the number.
The officers that usually handle the appeals are elected position,
The Board of Assessment Appeals, yes, they are
they're
elected.
elected position, so does the charter allow us to appoint someone to
Yeah.
do their duties?
Yes,
Alternates, even though it's an elected official.
correct.
If I may, only because I've been here so long, this has been done, this has been done numerous times. So it's allowed under state statute. Joe, is this maybe like the 3rd or 4th time that you've appointed these alternates?
I think this is my 5th reval, so we've appointed 5 times. We've appointed,
Okay.
or 4 times prior to this, alternates to assist.
Same people.
Yeah.
The same
Same
people.
people. In the past, we've actually had a couple of more people. But this time around, we didn't need as many to assist the Board of Assessment Appeals.
And Joe, there's been different members, right? Like previously, like somebody like Stu was on the Board of Assessment Appeals. So there was somebody else that was the alternate,
Correct.
right? Okay.
When is the appeal over, the time frame up, Joe? When is?
The last day is the 30th of April.
Oh, April 30th, okay.
This is just a process question. I don't know who should, where's the answer? Is there any reason why we don't put alternates on the ballot?
That's a good
and
question.
at the same, so that you have the backup already?
Yeah,
At least one of these gentlemen was rejected by the voters is my question. So do we have the authority to overrule the voters and put them in a position?
I think that's where we have some concern.
Okay, one was rejected to your
Yeah.
knowledge?
Yeah.
Question.
It really is not uncommon to appoint as alternates people who were not elected as regulars for Board of Assessment appeals purposes. It's difficult to find qualified people that want to serve in that capacity because of the volume of appeals they have to review. And you want as many appeals to be resolved at the Board of Assessment Appeals level as possible. So you don't want to just rush through the process and have an inadequate number of members who just, deny appeals or grant appeals just to be done with it. You want conscientious folks, because the fewer appeals to court from the Board of Assessment Appeals, the less money the town has to spend. So you want the BAA to do a good job.
So can you humor me? Because I don't know either one of these gentlemen. I don't see anything unless I'm missing it in my packet that gives me any information about either one of these people. So I'd like to question that. Joe, can you tell me a little bit about these two
Sure.
individuals?
Yes, Stuart Topliff is actually an assessor in Rocky Hill. And he's been an assessor there for quite some time. He has a commercial background, residential background. Actually, the chairman of the current BAA requested to give him a call. Jim Nickerman, he's actually a commercial broker, and he's dealt with the commercial properties in the past during the reassessment program. He's very knowledgeable on the commercial side.
And the other guy, and the other gentleman?
There's only, Jim
Oh.
Nickerman, and Jim is the broker, commercial broker, and Stuart is an assessor.
Right, okay.
So one's a broker and the other
an
gentleman's an
assessor in another
assessor and
town.
works for Rocky Hill.
I guess
Mm.
the only question I would have, and I don't know if this puts it in a question, an issue or not, but what if someone in town goes for their assessment appeals and, I don't know, they're gonna say, I don't agree with the decision, this was an alternate on there. Can that put us in any situation, or no, we're okay with that? Or can they apply again to those who were elected? I just don't know if it causes an issue. That's what I'm just trying to protect us.
Well, the statute that pertains to boards of assessment appeals allows, in this case, the town council to appoint alternates. And when we get appeals, without going into too much detail, there's two statutes that provide a remedy of an appeal. One is 12-117A, which is an appeal from a decision of a Board of Assessment Appeals. The other is 12-119, which is not a claim that the valuation's too high, but that the assessment's illegal. In either of those situations, a claim that the Board of Assessment Appeals action was invalid would be futile, because under 117A, all you can appeal is the decision of a Board of Assessment Appeals. And under 119, the BAA is not involved at all. It's an illegal assessment. So, from my perspective, if somebody wants to bring an appeal, it's going to be based on valuation, not that the Board of Assessment Appeals didn't have authority. Because if the Board of Assessment Appeals didn't have authority, then as a matter of law, the appeal is going to be considered denied by the Board of Assessment Appeals. So the town has the option with properties with an assessment in excess of $1 million to not even hear the appeal under statute 12-111. So that's another option, although I don't know how many of the 184 properties with assessments over $1 million. Again, the preference is to resolve them equitably at the BAA level both for the town so that we don't have the uncertainty and expense of a large number of appeals pending, but also for the taxpayer so that they feel that they've been treated fairly and they don't have to go spend money on a lawyer to bring an appeal to Superior Court. But to answer your question, no, there's not going to be an issue with respect to challenging the validity of the Board of Assessment Appeals action because an alternate sat. What's going to happen is the full Board of Assessment Appeals is going to vote on approving or denying appeal. It's not going to be a one-person decision.
So what are we? What are we thinking here? We have we have some concerns? Huh? No? Yes,
It's-
maybe with.
It's not like this is the first time we've ever done it.
Yeah. No, it's not. I don't,
And I can remember myself going to the board, the tax appeal board. Half the members had to recuse themselves.
yeah.
So, then you're looking at one person without alternates making a decision. I don't see the issue here. Maybe it's me, but, I kind of trust these people that they're gonna do the right thing. And why wouldn't they?
I think we have some concern on what we've heard about how some of the decisions go. I think that's really what we're getting at here, but with maybe one of these folks. And I don't know if it's true or not, so I hesitate to make a decision till maybe we get a few more facts. Before we appoint anybody.
Well, if there's some concerns, then perhaps we should table this for this
Yeah.
particular time, do the research that you feel we need to do and,
Yeah, let's
you
just,
know, I don't
we just
know
table
either
this
one of
just
these
till the next
gentlemen,
meeting.
So I don't know.
What- If I may ask.
Yes.
so that we don't into this again, what additional information do you need for the next meeting?
Well, like any board and commission, we ask everyone, is anyone interested? And now we weren't presented with a regular format. It's just appoint these people. It didn't come in our packet like this person has been in town 20 years and went to college and, we don't know.
The application itself, that's what.
There is no application is my concern.
There is no application for this process, right?
Yeah. And
And is this position open to other volunteers?
if there's a history of decisions with folks that have maybe been there before, maybe we could just get a little feedback on that.
May I
What-
ask if you have concerns with both of them or if just one?
I think mainly one, we've heard some
No, I
concerns.
have concerns with both.
Both?
I'd like to know about both people.
Well, we should know about both, but I just, if they've been on there before, if we have a little just history of when they did sit there, what decisions were made.
And
If I may.
Does that
when-
make sense, Joe? Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
When decisions are made, actually, it's as a whole.
Yeah.
So there's a vote on each application. So the process actually works very well, whether one person doesn't agree. There's always two that does agree, or one that doesn't agree, or two agrees. So there is a consensus when they're hearing the case, they hear them together. And we've been processing the deliberations while, after each hearing, while they're sitting there to discuss any information that's presented to the board.
All
So,
right.
just looking at the process, I don't think there's a concern about a vote, whether you agree with one person or two of them. You still have two members on the board that's still voting.
No, I think we understand that. But go ahead, Troy.
I'm just confusing. We have a board that'll have at least 3 people at all times, but we only elect 2 people to the board.
No, the board consists of 3 individuals, and I believe they're offset.
Okay, so
When,
there's 3
elect-
elected officials.
Correct, and they're offset when they're elected.
Okay, thank you.
It just so happens that one of those members are actually out on surgery and is unable to attend, so they're actually down one member. And then
How
with
soon do your hearings need to start?
I'm sorry, what?
Started already. So these are
Oh,
already.
yeah, we started in, March 1st, and they go to the end of the month, and then we have to be done.
So out of the, I'm sorry, so out of the 184 that appeals this year that you mentioned, are we halfway through that? A quarter
No,
of the way
we-
through that?
We
me?
listened to approximately 12 to 14 appeals per night. We start at 6, end at 9. Well, the
Can you do
appeals
the math
end
for
at
me,
9,
please?
but I'm sorry, what?
Can you do the math for me? So are we halfway through the process? Are we almost done with the process?
We
Where
are
are we?
probably 35%. We have, let's just see, we have 5, 10. We have about 125 to do.
It sounds like by not approving this tonight, we're really gonna hinder your progress.
But you're gonna hinder
Right.
your elected board who are volunteers and trying to do their best.
Well, just, and again, more of a process or silly question, but if we currently have 3 on assessment appeals and we're always looking for alternates, I think it goes back again. Do we look to maybe modify the ballots or have, elected alternates? Or do we look to?
charter probably,
know,
right?
Right,
the
I mean, it
charter?
might be a charter, but I mean, is it something worth looking into? If 3 people can't handle it, do we need 4 or 5 on assessment appeals?
3 okay, but one's out on surgery. So
Well, but no, but
That's
in
what
the
an
past,
alternate's
even when
for.
we had 3, we were still getting alternates. So I'm just wondering if 3 is the
Somebody
right
can't
number.
show up
that's all.
probably, right?
Only,
Usually during reevaluation, that they ask for this. So of course, years ago, it used to be every 10 years for residents, now it's 5. So it is done, as Joe said earlier, every 5 years, they do ask to appoint a couple extra alternates, but they are allowed under statute.
Okay.
Okay.
'cause
We-
this
If
is,
you wanted to increase the number of people on the BAA, then it would be charter revision. And a lot of towns do not elect their BAA. So there is also, back and forth. Here you do elect them, which is great. And it is on a rotation. So some years it's 2, some years it's 1, but, there's always, that office is always on our municipal ballot.
on a non-revaluation year, we get anywhere from 30 to maybe 40 appeals for the year versus, 180, 150. In the past, we've had 300, if not more. So this is the only time when we have an excessive amount, and that's why they bring on these alternates to try to get the process done by the end of the month, because the law requires us to get it done.
So I have one more question. When was the deadline for the appeal to be in?
February 20th,
February 20th, was the cutoff date?
correct.
And then the
But
ones
this-
that have,
This
sorry, the-
year it was the 17th because the 20th was on a holiday.
and then the appeals that have been heard already, has that just been heard by 2? Or was that before the 3rd person went out on
They've been
surgical
heard
leave or?
only 2.
Okay.
Oh, so only 2 have been here in the,
Elected,
Oh.
and one's on,
Hmm?
They're working every day.
they're working every day.
6 to 9 from March 1st.
don't we all?
but they're volunteers. I
I
think
understand, I mean, I
Yeah,
understand,
they're
we're all
volunteers.
volunteers.
these folks are vouched for it or qualified, and I think because of the time crunch, we should move forward with this. Not my
Yeah.
first choice to operate like that, but because of the
It's
situation.
Different.
Yeah, though it's gonna back up the whole system.
The folks in the Board of Assessment Appeals, they are working within the constraints of what they are given. Not like they can go and recreate this and come up with a different process. It's
But my
not.
point is, I don't think we have the luxury to put it off for 2 weeks and think about it,
Yeah.
because we're really gonna hamstring them. We need to move
If
forward.
the other person's already
Yeah.
missing for his health reasons, yeah.
I'm good.
So, folks, what do we say? We good? Are we good? We good? All right. Yeah, we can't, I think we should do it unfortunately because of that reason. Otherwise, we're gonna have,
We gotta keep the business moving forward.
yeah, no, our residents will suffer. That's who will suffer with it and the volunteers as well, you know, we all,
I'd just like to add that in the future, when we find ourselves in this position, I think that we should certainly have some sort of a resume, application, something attached, so that we at least know who we're appointing to what.
well,
And earlier than the night of, just saying.
and maybe, you know, multiple candidates too.
Yeah, I think
Sure,
that would
you
be a
know,
good idea.
If we have multiple, I
Yeah,
don't know.
There could be more than just 2 or 3 people that are out there right now that are willing to do
5
this.
years from now, we'll all remember this, right?
No, 5 years from now,
Will.
I'm on a beach.
Kate will still be here.
on a
Kate,
beach
you'll be here.
somewhere.
Come on. All right, yeah, no, I
Peter, aren't you on a beach 5 years from now?
he's on a beach now. I mean, he's here tonight, but he's, you know, back from Florida, so he's.
You okay with this, Peter?
What's that?
You okay
Peter's-
moving
Peter's
forward?
good, Peter's good.
We've done this,
Okay,
I've done it the third time, I think.
all right, so.
Yeah, I think we will back up the folks in town that want to have their hearings, and that's not fair for them. So that's where we're at. So we'll go ahead and take a motion.
Move to appoint Stuart Topliff and Jim Neckerman as Board of Assessment Appeals alternates for the calendar year of 2023 appeal cycle as needed at the discretion of the Board of Assessment of Appeals.
Second on that?
I'll second that.
All right, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Thank
You're
you, Joe.
welcome. Have a good night.
You
Good
too.
night.
You too.
Agenda item number 3 is to schedule a public hearing to add specific affiliations, Public Golf Course Commission membership. We had this conversation at the ordinance committee. And as you recall, right now, there's no affiliation. All 8 members could be from anyone. So you have a red line version. It's fairly simple. Out of the 8, we are recommending change is to have no more than 4 from the men's club and then 1 each from the seniors club, 1 non-golfer, 1 ladies club, and 1 from the Lady Niners. But this is not to approve that. This is to schedule a public hearing to hear from the public about the change to the ordinance.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and take a motion on this.
Move to set a public hearing on March 21st, 2023 at 7 PM at the Town Council Chamber for the purpose of receiving both written and oral comments concerning modifications to Chapter 2, Article 2, Part J, Section 2-192, Public Golf Course Commission of Berlin Code Book.
Thank you. Second on that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. If there's no other questions on this, we'll go ahead and vote on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you. Agenda item number 4 is formal acceptance of Great Oak Drive and Victoria Court as town roadways. Mr. Hearn, over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, you may recall the town council referred this matter to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a Section 824 review. This is old business. We've been taking care of these roads since 2009. So we want to get these formally on the books. So the Planning and Zoning Commission returned a favorable 824 recommendation. So now we want to go to the next step and file the maps. We have the as-built maps done. We have pretty much all the work done on the roads. They've been accepted. They're constructed to town standards. We've been plowing them. We've been maintaining them. So I'd like to actually put them on the actual official town road list. So that's the request.
Okay, well, sounds like it's time to get this done. So go ahead and take a motion on this.
The, Shadow Meadow, trying to figure out where we're on the chimney. Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
Behind there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's been stuck for a
I was
while.
gonna say, that's been there forever.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Not, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
I move to formally accept 2 streets, Great Oak Drive and Victoria Court, as shown in as-built roadway plans dated July 26, 2022, and prepared by Harry J. Cole and Sons as town roadways, and to authorize the town staff in coordination with Corporation Council to prepare and record required maps and documents with the town clerk.
Thank you, Charlie. Second on that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any other questions? for Mr. Ahern? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 5 is catch basin and street sweeping stockpile. Postal contract extension with stack.
Thank you. Yeah, we, all the material that we collect from the catch basin, vac truck, and also from our street sweepings, and also stuff we pull out of the pipes, we put behind the animal control building on Christian Lane. This material is stockpiled, and we, contract for both the testing, transport, and disposal of this material. Usually we're getting rid of it at least once a year or once every 2 years. We went out to bid in 2020. Stacks Construction was a competitive bid. They were awarded the contract. They've been doing the work since then. Highway's happy with them. So they extended their existing rate of $47.50 per ton for that service through the end of this year. So we'd like to extend that contract, and we'll very likely go out to bid next year for this service.
Okay. Any questions?
That's great. They're holding prices and everything.
That's always good in today's world to hold prices,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah. It's hard to,
That's a very reasonable number to start with.
Mm.
yeah, is that good?
That's a good number.
Oh, good. Okay. No, that's
That's my bag. yeah.
that's your area, so we know that, yeah. So we have some expertise there. Okay, if there's no questions, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
Move to authorize the town manager to extend contract number 2020-18 with Stacks Construction Services LLC of Berlin, Connecticut for testing, transport, and disposal of various environmental regulated materials at a rate of $47.50 per ton through December 31st, 2023. As this is in the best interest of the town.
Thank you. Second on that?
I'll second that.
All right. Any other further questions? If not, hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you,
you, Mike.
guys.
Yep. have a good
Thank
night.
you. Have a good night.
You too.
And item number 6 is allowing, there are 2 action items required here. One is to allow taxpayers to vote in the referendum. Then add a question for the water control. So all these years we have had town budget and the Board of Ed in the referendum.
Right.
But we have never had the Berlin water control, but according to our charter, we are required to have that question as well.
Hmm.
So,
How long is this going on
Yeah.
for?
since 2016, right? Before that?
Before then? Like way back? Or we don't know?
Well, probably it started in the revision before 2016. You had the 2012 is when we went to the automatic referendum probably started in the 2004 charter. And that was where we had the automatic referendum. And then you had a charter revision where you separated out the questions and you had the advisory.
Hmm.
So, I think it was 2004. I don't know if anybody, I mean, I didn't pick up on it. No attorney ever told me, nobody else told me.
Hmm.
It was,
Wow.
somebody asked Corporation Counsel a question and he said, well, by the way, you should have this as a question on the referendum.
It just happened recently, Jeff?
Yeah, I was asked the question a couple weeks ago.
Huh.
So the entire town would vote on the water commission budget. So it only affects about a third of the town.
Correct.
So that's logical.
And I think that's part of why we didn't pick up on it. that
Yeah.
it could be a question, because how do you do that?
Well, that's the, right,
But it's.
yeah.
Can we put another thing in that, like, if you know who your water department is, don't vote on this? Yeah.
What we are proposing is to have some language, explanatory text that will
Okay.
get out the citizen, on Facebook, on social media, and to all the voters that this actually pertains to the people who get water from Berlin Water Control. But there's nothing that, to be clear, that
Yeah.
this is about Berlin Water Control, but
Right.
there's nothing that we can do to prevent people from voting. All residents who show up at the ballot can vote.
Because why? Now, the budget, I mean, I know they're all residents, taxpayers of Berlin, but I
That was
mean,
the first question, first one that you.
Be-
Well, since it's, let me ask you, since it's a district, is there certain locations? We can't do that either.
It's not a district,
no, it's not
So
a
it's not
district,
really a
really.
district, right?
not like the other two.
Okay, I just see massive confusion,
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
right?
If we're gonna add all these questions, can we add another advisory question only? Do the citizens think that the town should work to consolidate the water department?
Yeah, let's throw that out
We've
there.
had
too.
no way to educate people.
That'll
to
be a
get them
fun
to
question.
Think
out there.
about it, but could we,
Put that one on the ballot.
could we, put that- just, you know, and I realize
if
it
we're
wouldn't be
going
binding, it'd be
here-
advisory, but it would give us some direction.
Can we do that? No. Gotcha.
reason that you could ask the too high or too low questions about the budget is because the legislature by statute threatens the budget.
But we can't ask the electric for advice.
That's an advisory referendum, no such thing.
Well, then let's make it binding.
I just,
I just see massive confusion
oh,
on this.
absolutely.
I see people vote, I don't know. They already don't know what district
So
they're
I
in.
was just gonna say, they're all gonna
folks.
say it's too high, just for the sake. of
Yeah,
it.
I mean, if.
Why would
yeah.
you say that it's okay?
Is this gonna make my well cost more?
I don't know, Charlie.
Yeah.
I mean, they just.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, my. So who brought this to your attention, attorney? I'm curious.
Sent me the question, right?
I didn't send it to you, but
Somebody sent me the question.
Kevin asked.
No, you gotta stand up there. You know she's gonna yell at you. I'm just jumping at, you know,
Ray,
who she is
you
with
should
it.
know that by now, Ray. Come on.
Yeah.
Nothing gets by Kate, all right? We know that.
We
Not-
love Kate.
Nothing gets by.
She was getting, her eyes were getting big.
It started out as an innocent question because Kevin was trying to get the budget from ours eliminated from the town budget, which in the past has been included, but hasn't been drawn attention to. There was no questions being asked about it. So he thought, and he asked Attorney D'Onofrio about this, and there's a quirk in the charter. Because in Charter 8, Section 8, that deals with water control, it talks about having the budget approval by the manager, but then sends it back to Chapter 7, which talks about the budget as a whole, the government budget, the actual water control budget, and including the Board of Education budget at the same time. And so I wasn't familiar with this portion of it, but then the issue of questions comes up, and it's a good point, is what happens when 3/4 of the town is voting on something that they're not using? And then the other issue, but if it is high or too low, it obviously is high for everyone. And they're not gonna
This is a
recognize
mess.
that we're an enterprise system functioning on our own rate structure, so it has nothing to do technically with the town, town finances per se.
There's no town tax dollars
Well.
other than,
Share some responsibility.
yes,
But no, yeah, we're supposed to be functioning on our
Yeah.
own rate base, correct?
right.
8-7-12 of the charter says. Water Control Commission financing. Said commission shall submit its budget pursuant to Chapter 7 of this charter.
Chapter 7, then.
Chapter 7 is your budget process. So it lumps it expressly, it doesn't say may, it says shall. So it lumps the Water Control Commission's budget in with the rest of the town budget,
So instead of,
despite the fact that it's an enterprise fund.
instead of getting a buy, now I'm in the middle of this. Because basically we thought originally we weren't going to be included in the budget. Now we have to be.
I can tell you that in other towns, Cheshire and North Haven, for
Yeah.
example, they vote on the WPCA budget every year.
But does that,
Enterprise
Is that the
fund?
whole
does that cover the
town?
whole town though?
There's probably in North Haven, probably 30% of the town that aren't served by it.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
And being lumped in with the town budget wouldn't cover it, so it has to be a separate question.
If they vote on the budget, they vote on the budget, so why wouldn't this be just be included like everything else?
And we
That's a
don't-
good
We
thought.
don't vote on a separate police budget or a separate.
Yeah, it's all
public
into
works
one,
budget.
it's a budget. It's
Does it
the
say-
budget.
Doesn't have to be a separate question.
Well, that might be the solution.
Yep.
Well, there isn't one for the Board of Education, and I think in chapter 7, it brings out the Board of Education as well as the government and water control,
Right.
my recollection anyway, in that chapter.
I
I'm
would
saying
not.
is water
entertain
control
this.
singled out like the education?
No.
No. Just leave
Then
it
that's
lumped in
it.
with the
It's
town.
lump it in
I would,
town and that's it. I wouldn't be,
Generically lumped in.
yep.
yes,
Fine with me.
is that all right?
All the
Sounds good.
charter says 817, 12 just
voted on.
says per 7, per section 7.
Right.
So
So that's okay?
That's where you
Jeff?
always been.
it's to be clear that it's included.
Yeah,
That's right.
Okay, but the question's set in charter, so I can still use the same question, right? Question set by the charter.
For the yes and no, yes.
Okay.
Is the town's budget, right?
No, that's right.
right.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, it's erroneously treating the commission like it's a department of the town, and it's not. But I didn't write this charter.
Spin it.
Tried to fix,
Spin it.
I tried to fix a lot of things in this charter. We worked very hard.
Yes, we
and
did.
Nobody wanted to fix anything. So
No,
Oh,
well,
that's
no.
true.
let's do another one.
Why should we change?
Try again.
Say just leave it.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say.
Leave it as it is. That's
Well,
it. Let's not
We've
open.
been
that
doing
can
it this
of
way
worms.
for 100 years. Well, let's leave it alone.
Change it.
Yeah, that's okay. Huh?
This one.
Yes, of
Yep,
course.
that's
yes.
right.
We know it and we love it,
That's
but
right.
No action.
No action.
Do you need the first one?
I'm gonna sleep a little bit better with this one anyways.
You're
Glad to hear
welcome.
it.
well, it kind of makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, just to put everybody's mind at ease. y- If the fear is that having the BWCC budget be a separate question
Yes.
and having a lot of people that aren't customers of BWCC voting
Right.
could torpedo it. Only twice.
Ha, yeah, I get it.
Because under 7.6, it's the same as the town budget.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
If it gets rejected twice at referendum.
Yeah.
Then the budget becomes the budget.
Could you have it split though? Could it be the governmental portion of it be separated out, if it were separated out? So that you would have an approval, let's say, for the government
Just-
portion of it, but not for the water control?
No,
You could do it that way, but I don't think anybody's saying to do it that way.
No, I
No,
know that,
no,
but
no,
if you
no,
had left it this way, you would have it.
yes, but we're not gonna do that. So we're gonna,
Who wants a third referendum?
huh?
Who wants to go back?
I think we should go to 6.
Oh, my God.
We do it once.
Some towns,
Monroe.
Yeah, we're just blind.
Monroe
Colchester-
routinely has 5 or
Colchester,
6.
yeah, Colchester,
This was going on in August.
I know. I actually didn't go, I think it went to October.
Yeah, I think.
I was
so.
talking to somebody from Colchester the other day, yeah.
Towns that split the Board of Ed and the municipal government budget are the towns that have multi-referenda.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a big mistake to split them
To split 'em.
because you have people then
Right.
you're dividing the
Right.
parents against the seniors.
Yeah, right,
Mhm.
right. Yeah, that's not good.
Exactly.
That's never
True.
good.
So Jeff, do we need the first action item anyway? Because that's.
The
why
wording,
do we
yeah.
need The action.
So
Maybe
you
just
have
a-
to revise that. So just read the. first
Yeah, can we,
piece. Yeah, just the
first-
first piece.
But why do we need that though? Because if it's in the charter, why?
if it's in the charter, won't we just put it in the budget?
No.
No, we're talking about the,
First action item.
the tax, joint, the tax
Not in the charter, that has to be voted on by statute.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
15 years or, that's the piece we need to talk, to move forward.
Right.
So you take the first one.
Just
You
that
want a
first
motion on who's
paragraph.
eligible to vote, correct?
Yes, just.
Yeah,
the
just
first
that
one.
part, just
you're
that.
just eliminating question 3.
So I move to allow any person who is a citizen of the United States of the age of 18 years or more who jointly or severally is liable for the town of for taxes assessed against him or her in an assessment not less than $1,000 on the last completed grand list of the town to vote in the budget referendum on April 25th and May 23rd, 2023.
All right, yes, all right, second on that?
I'll second that.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So moved. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Did we
Just
get?
as a Point of information, I
That's better.
wanted town commissioners to have the same qualifications, and some folks in towns thought that was a very bad thing because it would limit folks on who could vote.
With what now? Oh, that.
They were quite upset because this description limits the number of people that can vote.
I'm sorry, that question limit, who can vote?
In the ordinance committee, I wanted to have an ordinance that would say town commissioners should meet these same qualifications.
Oh,
And a number of people were very upset with that description.
And also we couldn't do it because the charter says.
Elector.
Yeah, the charter.
Let's do it. Charlie, you interested?
Well, I can't
I
wait.
think we should just repeal the charter and be a non-charter town.
Oh,
Ah,
well,
Sort out.
that's for the next time.
Well, the government says we have too many towns now, so we should enjoy our town government while we can still have.
need to
They're going away.
Ugh.
Someday they're going away. Okay, so we're good on that,
Yes.
right? It is
Yes.
now in the charter. Everybody's I mean, it's all in the budget question.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Perfect. Okay, so what are we doing now? Appointments? Do we have appointments?
I'm confused. I think some of these
One
people have come up
golf-
beforehand.
Yeah, we have,
Got,
yes, go ahead, Kate, please.
several of them have, and they also have been appointed to
Ye-
other.
Right,
Last
What?
meeting, the mayor was going to double check to see if any of these people wanted to serve on a second board or commission.
okay.
So
Okay.
that's why
gotcha.
somebody like Mr. Hamel
Yes.
was put on planning and zoning.
Right.
But he had also expressed interest in 2 other boards. I don't know if the mayor's had a chance to reach out to them or not.
No,
That's fine, but that's why they're back in your packet.
All right. So if there's a check here, that means that we've put him on. No.
we didn't put Mr. Hamel on the
No,
I thought we put him on
commission
planning
for
and
disabilities.
the check is for consideration as commissioner for persons with disability.
zoning. Okay.
Oh,
but he's
okay.
Already on planning and
He's
zoning.
already on
Yeah, we put
planning
him on
and
there.
zoning, and
Yeah.
your board of ethics is filled.
Right,
There's
right.
no room
So,
Oh, I see. He had
Yes.
put in for that.
yes, so
We
we,
should cross that.
no,
off.
I haven't had a chance that we'll ask Mr. Hamel about that. And so the next one, Mr.
Right.
Simonetta was economic development, right? But
But you had,
that's filled,
when you had talked about it,
right?
thought that you might reach out to see if he might be interested in another.
We will do
board
that.
Commission.
So,
Okay.
all right. So he can't do the economic, because we're
No.
filled.
No, we just filled that
Okay.
last time. So we'll reach out to him.
See if he's interested in anything
Yeah,
else.
we'll
Okay,
find
got it.
something else. So this one, Mr. Richards is the
Yes.
one we want to take
Golf
action on. Yeah, this is the
Commission.
golf commission, so we
Okay.
add another organization into their commission.
Right.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and take a nomination for the Berlin Golf Commission.
I nominate Mr. William Richards for the Berlin Golf Commission.
Thank you. Any other nominations for this spot? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations. All those in favor, Mr. Richards, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, welcome, Mr. Richards, to the Golf Commission, and that does settle,
That's a senior.
yeah, that's
Senior
the
piece
membership that
of
we
it.
have talked about, yeah, which is a little bit fairer representation, right? It's more fair to everyone, as we discussed with the Golf Commission, so that should make everybody happy.
He's on, yes, you're right, you're right.
Well, maybe for now.
Did we replace
Huh?
Mr. Legani yet on Parks and Rec? We have one application for Park.
Okay, your next one is Housing Authority. Do you want to do that one?
No,
No, we're gonna hold on that one.
All right, the next one is Parking Rec, yes. So there is Lucas, who is currently a constable, is interested in Park and Rec.
Okay,
And then John,
You what?
I don't know how to say his last name.
Dykem, I
Yeah,
think,
and you
Dykem,
Maybe reach out to him.
yes,
And then Tony, who is currently on, would like to be reappointed.
oh, okay,
But
is
we
that,
gotta fill vacancies first.
oh, okay, so,
That's why we were holding off on Tony because
oh, that's right, Oh, yeah, okay. It all comes back to
Oh
us
my
now.
gosh, all
I
right.
Some of
listed
us.
stuff.
Huh? I know you do. No, I know.
So-
That's why you're here, Kate. We need you here.
You could we put Tony on. but
After
you could
we-
be on For a shorter period.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
That's fine, whatever you want to do. You know, that's up to you. That's your.
Well, he,
So we have,
and he wants to be reappointed.
He does.
Now, I know John Dykem cannot make the Park and Rec, because I did ask him about that. The night of the meeting is
was
not
that
good.
Tuesday, Thursday? or
Yeah,
Thursday
it
or
was something like that Thursday, so, but there still may be something else for him, so we'll ask him about something else, but we'll hold off on.
Yeah, Mr. Van.
So, but I wonder if we should put, because, so we'll put, if we put Tony on, because he wants to go back on, right?
But
So-
then it's a short thing.
It's a shorter term though,
Right.
Kate.
So
Which
that
is-
was-
You can always reappoint him.
We could always reappoint him, right? I mean, when he
Well,
comes
you
up
would
again.
reappoint him in January of 2024.
Well, that's almost a year from now. What's wrong with so that we fill the position,
Yeah.
you know?
Let's fill, yeah,
Then Could
let's-
we reappoint him at that point? I mean,
We can
Yeah,
reappoint him
yeah.
next January,
Yes.
right?
yeah.
I
You
mean,
know, it's-
whoever's on the council can reappoint him.
Hey,
You know, he's the president of the Berlin Boosters. I think it's important.
Yeah, he's
Tony?
a nice
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah,
Nice guy.
yeah.
I think it's important. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Okay,
It was just to try to keep him, he can stay on
yes,
until his
Right.
predecessor is seated. So that's what the thought was,
oh,
try to get somebody
Ah,
in.
okay, somebody else,
At least you could have them on for a longer period.
gotcha.
But you don't have to do that. You can put them on and keep them on for a year and then see what happens.
Yeah, well, what about, so,
There's
but,
somebody
well,
else.
Lucas,
Because technically he's been not on, right?
He is on.
Yes.
He stays on until his successor is appointed.
oh, okay,
So, okay, so when does his expire?
It really and truly expired in 2023, but no successor has been appointed. So he stays on until somebody fills that slot.
Hmm,
his slot,
okay,
Or he's
well.
reappointed. Or he's reappointed.
Okay.
so, what do we do with,
Why does it have to be so complicated?
Luke, what do we,
It's pretty simple.
Glad you do.
what are we doing with Lucas? Have we spoken to Lucas or no?
I haven't talked.
he raised his hand to point him.
So Lucas is currently a commission, a constable.
Oh, you said that, yeah, okay, okay, yeah.
He reached out and
Yeah.
I know it's late and it's a long day. He reached out and he asked to be on something. And
Oh.
I think it was through Chris Edge that he said that he wanted to be more active. So I talked to him about all the different boards and commission and
Yeah.
he thought that Park and Rec would be a great fit for him.
Okay.
All right. So then.
I think so, we,
Put Lucas in and
Yes.
wait and do Tony at
and
the
then do
end of the
Tony.
year? What?
no, we could do Tony,
Tony?
yes, correct,
Oh, okay, so let's
Yes.
do that.
Like
Okay.
it.
yes,
Perfect.
yes. Yes, we've made a decision. Hallelujah. Decision making tonight's tough. I'm
There
not
you
sure what's
go.
going on tonight, but that's okay.
And then we don't have to,
Diary.
okay,
Right.
so we'll do both of them.
What's that? What's that?
We need
My
to
diary, I'm
nominate
gonna put
Mr.
that in my
Van Dant
diary.
first, correct?
Mr. Van Zant goes first, right?
First, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. I'm in trouble tonight.
Yep.
Okay,
I nominate Mr. Lucas A. Van Zant for the Parks and Rec Commission.
all right, thank you. Any other nominations for that spot? Hearing none, go ahead and close the nominations. All those in favor, Mr. Van Zant?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Welcome to Park and Rec and
Tony, right?
nominations for another Park and Rec slot, Tony
Tony Betrimus.
Tramus.
You nominate him, you can say.
Oh, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna nominate Tony Betrimus for Park and Rec, right? Okay.
Yes, second on
Are
that?
there any other
any
nominations?
nominations.
Any other nominations?
Oh, yeah, you
Okay.
handle it, Don, it's good.
All in favor?
You got
Alright.
your
Done.
Welcome,
Trying to keep everyone awake. here.
everybody. Yeah, we're good. All right, I think we're,
Okay.
all right, we got through that?
Yeah.
Got a couple folks to talk to. Scott and John, we'll talk to them and see what
That's it,
their
right?
interest is.
Okay.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
we're good with that. I was trying to drag it out till we stayed till 10, but I know you guys want to leave early. All right, so,
See a show.
kidding. Town managers report, we're there already. Amazingly enough, we made it.
don't want to get out of here early.
No,
Yeah.
that's a bad precedent to set. Then we'll be spoiled every time we want out early.
Hereford until
So,
last night.
I do want to, how many of you were, I know, Mr. Mayor, you were there at the budget meeting. How many others were there when we presented to the Board of Finance? Donna, you were there?
Mhm.
I think Donna was there. Others were not there. What? So just, I'll give you like a 30-second quick recap on the budget. So it's interesting because it's always called the town manager's budget, but I hope you understand that's not my budget. We try to listen to you, the elected officials, and the people voice their opinion through you. And so it is what the priorities of the town, the needs of the town that's reflected in this budget. You know, so we try to capture
And
that.
you hold for a moment. Donna, are you still having trouble hearing us? You okay? Yes,
Muted.
We can.
all right, sorry. Okay.
All right. So in the fall, we had a joint meeting of the council, Board of Finance and Board of Ed. The chair of the Board of Finance asked us to try and submit a budget, do our best to get an increase less than 2%. So the town operations budget that is submitted is at 1.9%. Okay, I'll talk about some of the other ones that I informed him that it's not, it's beyond my control to control some of the other stuff because I don't decide whether we're gonna build the police station or not, or give the pension or not, or add police officers. So that needs to be considered separately. But I do want you to just ground the starting point so that you all understand there are a lot of moving parts in this budget, especially with the reevaluation coming. Last year's, we have a mill rate, the current mill rate is at 34.31. So there's the presentation, if you look at the page 7, all of you got nice big binders. There was a slide deck in there on page 7. Kevin did a nice job putting this together. It looks something like this. And what it does is it takes current grand list against last year's budget and sort of readjust or recalibrate the current mill rate. So that brings it down to 29.16. So if we had the same grand list what we have now last year, it would have been 29.16. It's a bigger grand list, right? The
Mhm.
valuation drove the number up.
Right.
Think of that as the starting point. And when we look at all of the additions that we are requesting this year, 8.9 million, almost 9 million.
Roche,
Fine.
did you, I'm sorry, did you say, I don't have my book, but she has hers. Did you say section 7?
Now, page 7
Oh,
of the
page 7.
presentation.
Oh, the
A presentation.
Yeah, there's a presentation. You don't have it. I didn't bring the whole binder with me.
That's okay.
so-
I forget.
Mine's in the.
Yeah, mine's in the
car.
car too. I forgot.
But you don't have to look at it. Just listen to me. That'll be good.
Ugh.
You can take a look at it
I
when you
think
go
that's okay,
home.
just-
So it's the concept that I want you to understand before we start. The mill rate is what it does when we add almost $8.9 million, or it's 9.3% increase. In that packet, the quick recap, this is what I call, the page 7 has all of these numbers, but look at what the 8.9 million is. The bigger ones are $2.9 million we're asking in capital increases, and it's listed in your binder as well as your presentation. Page 8 lists all these things, right, in the presentation. Board of Ed operations, another 2.8 million. The DB pension, this is the police pension, the net cost to the town is $1,033,000. Debt service increase is a 723. That includes the assumption that we would go and borrow the police station as well, right? Town operations, this is the 1.9% I talked about, it's 644,000. 4 new police officers with benefits, that's 454. Then Department 59 and 61, that's the one that town pays for the Board of Ed, 292,000. So that's the 8.9 million, right? So if you add all of that, the 9.16 will go up to 32.19 as is. So I think it's safe to say that budget won't go as presented to the referendum. So, but tomorrow, there's a Board of Finance workshop. Nobody you want to attend, it's public. You can, it's right here.
It's up here
uh,
tomorrow.
Yep,
Oh.
at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And you
6.
can do a Zoom if you want. That's where the Board of Finance members will go through the budget item and make recommendations to make adjustments, right? So that's tomorrow, the 8th. Then there's another next Tuesday in their regular Board of Finance meeting, they will take this on again. And there's another day, the following Wednesday, the 15th. That's at 7. They would, when they have necessary, they'll take another third workshop as well. So
So the 8th, the 14th, and the 15th?
that's correct.
I'm sure the Board of Finance is sharpening their pencils as we speak to go through this budget with a fine tooth comb and see what we could do.
So, and then Mr. Mayor talked after that, it goes to the annual budget hearing on March 28th, 6 PM, McGee Middle School. Standing room only, come early for a seat. It depends on how,
Yeah.
what will be presented too. So one of the things we have done, we meaning to Kevin, I showed this to the mayor when he was visiting the town hall. We have a link that we are going to put out on the website. And everybody can go and look at their property. And based on the proposed mill rate increase, whatever the Board of Finance recommends
Right. When they recommend.
to the town meeting, you could go find your own property, not estimate, the actual increase will show,
Based upon their
whatever the new.
whatever the mill rate is recommended.
So one column will show you the property, what you're paying today. And then the other one will show what,
I don't want to
what
look
the
at
new
it
one would be,
anyways.
right?
Right.
So because people need to understand. what
Yes.
They're voting for. And one thing that I would want you to understand, if we do nothing, there is no increase, zero, not even a penny. All residents will pay more this year in taxes because of the reval adjusted the evaluations more to a residential property away from commercial. So the percentage of the burden carried by the residents have increased. So
Yes.
regardless of what we do nothing, and you're still going to pay more taxes.
Mhm.
Only way you can bring that down is to reduce the budget below what we had last year.
Mhm.
It's arithmetic. It's very simple.
Mhm.
Just want you to understand the basics because that's what we are looking at. And then hopefully by the end of next week, we'll all have a sense of where this budget is heading.
Good.
Sounds good?
Yes.
Any
Great.
questions?
No, I don't think so. Questions, folks? No, no questions?
So that's on the budget. Just some other
Forward to the
updates
lower
I
mill rate.
want to share with you. You may have seen some road work, construction, sidewalk work, connectivity happening from where the subway is.
Yes.
So that sidewalk is going to continue and
Oh.
where it turns right on Farmington Ave, going
Yeah.
all the way to Patterson.
Oh,
Right.
Oh,
So that means
okay.
that from the high school.
Yeah.
You could
could
come both ways.
Yeah,
The
oh,
sidewalks
nice.
Come all the way to town. So
oh,
that
good.
started working on that. There are a lot of
Great.
thing going on and that should be done soon. And we'll have the finalized list of, other than the Porter's Pass and Deming Road, the road work, I'll share with you probably the next meeting or the meeting.
Oh, okay, good.
There'll be some road work that will be happening.
That's
Not
great.
enough, but there'll be some. All right.
Mhm.
And you, just for the dates, the combined meeting, we talked about this, if you can pencil it in of the planning and zoning and the, for the cannabis here.
Oh, the canvas, yeah, yeah,
March
That's the
30th.
30th.
yeah. Yes, the 30th, yes.
And
We'll be there.
Mhm.
couple of ribbon cuttings coming tomorrow. There's a Center for Higher Living, 130 Webster Square. Can make it. And I know Chris and Christie's already sent the invitation.
Mhm.
The Family Dollar
Yeah,
Dollar
It's on
Tree,
Monday, I
Dollar
think.
Store, it's on
Monday at 8:30, right?
Yeah.
8:30 AM. I'm
that's
told it
8:30.
looks beautiful. the
Yeah,
store.
yeah, I've been in there.
went
It's
in,
open.
yeah.
They've had the soft opening. Yeah.
It's not your dollar store.
No, they did a nice job in there.
So
Yeah,
If you want to come and see that.
it's very
that'd be
nice.
great.
And
there-
then there's their grand opening is like with a week later, right? I think. So
think
so
so.
that's our ribbon cutting, but I think they're having a grand opening, if I'm not mistaken, the following weekend. Yeah, Chris.
Because they did a soft opening.
This was the soft opening. We're gonna do our ribbon cutting, but then I think they've got
their own
the,
thing.
yeah, they're doing their own grand opening, I think the following, right?
I talked to the district
Yeah,
manager.
yeah.
We wanted in there the day they opened. the
Yeah.
Soft open.
Right.
He said something about the March 19th.
Yes, I think that's the
Oh,
grand
okay.
opening.
Yeah, and
We're
I-
gonna do the ribbon cutting
13th,
first, so
right.
they can do, I think, get it out publicity wise, right? And I think that's what Chris was explaining to me, Mondays, and then they could
I'm
use that.
happy. I don't have to go all the way into the center of the town. for
Oh,
a gallon
no,
of
it's
milk.
great. It's great. I've already been in there twice. It's great. They got, some good stuff in there.
And
Prices are good.
of other things, they're preparing for the opening of Timberland.
Oh, okay.
Of course, a lot of changes this year. We moved the director of golf into where the pro shop is. All the flooring has been replaced,
Wow, nice.
painted, looks very bright, beautiful. So when we open, we'll have the pro there as well as the director. We are introducing a new point of sale system. State of the art, none of this pencil written and checking in. People showing up at the starter with a tablet can check folks in, they can pay online. And then also we'll be getting new.
That sounds like a change. It
Yes.
sounds like we move forward.
Lots of
Wait a minute, wait a
changes
minute, wait a
there.
We
Lots
have
of
the right
changes.
people in the
Wait,
right place.
wait, move forward. No, wait.
Right, and then we also have new carts coming with GPS.
Ooh.
Oh,
If you
nice.
drive close to the green, it'll shut it off.
Oh, really?
So
Oh,
That's
nice.
interesting.
people don't destroy the greens.
Yeah, there we go.
And
All
then
good stuff.
the driving range has been new, pad has been there, concrete poured. And because we're taking over the driving range as
Right,
well. so
right.
All these changes happening, so it's exciting. I'm looking forward to a good season this year. And then finally, you approved, it's been a couple of years, the town server replacement project.
Yeah.
10 years old. Brian and his team have been working on that. We are 70% complete. Next week or two, we'll be 100% complete with brand new servers, so everything will be upgraded. All
Nice.
the Data is, secured and systems run on those things from tax collection to payroll to everything else. But the land that you get somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you very much. Special committee reports. The only thing we have was the ordinance committee, and where did we,
Next 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today, right? Okay, but separate meeting now, right? Didn't we?
It's earlier before.
So when
yeah.
we have the council.
It's at 6. It's before our meeting. Okay. Okay, that's it for that. Council communications, what do we have? Yes, sir.
I just have a quick, as you know, I have a spy in the Public Works Department. And I'm
Shocked to hear that.
told that the road work you spoke about, which is wonderful, it's only 2 years late because the folks at the DOT finally signed the paperwork, gonna move forward. But in all their wisdom, the state of Connecticut's decided that they're gonna mill and pave Farmington Avenue at the same time. So traffic will be wonderful,
And
with-
we have Starbucks opening.
but with Christian Lane and Farmington Avenue and Porter's Pass obstructed at the same time, it'll be wonderful.
What DOT genius came up with that plan?
Well,
I know, they're in their
Just
own
do
world. I
whatever they
get it,
want,
but
whenever they
they're
want.
affecting our
they're all
town.
busy not working from home, so it gets confusing.
You're getting back into the swing of things.
When it's done,
It will be
So,
nice.
sign of success is to see cranes, bulldozers.
That's true.
things happening.
That
So
is true.
people might complain, but I would rather have than
Than
that
nothing.
sleepy town with, potholes and
Hmm.
nothing else happening. So
Mhm.
people can complain. We'll do the best we can to divert traffic and all that. When it's done, it'll be beautiful.
I'm
Is there a
happy to see it
date?
coming. I just want people to be prepared for a little
Yeah.
inconvenience.
Is there a date?
Last
on
year,
that?
they were detouring people down dead end roads on the Chamberlain Highway. They don't do a real good job with traffic.
Hey,
The state of
DOT.
Connecticut, the DOT was,
state, yeah. the
yeah,
state.
they were directing
That was a nightmare
people down dead end roads. It was amazing.
last year. Is there a date on that, Arosh?
To start to all that?
Don't have a date.
Do we, what, like summer or we don't know? We don't
No,
know.
they're pushing for
Well,
spring. They're pushing. for
Spring, are they? Oh, okay.
The Farmington Ave thing, the
Yeah.
other one might start later and go into the next year. but-
Oh, okay.
so.
I mean, it's all welcomed, don't
Yeah,
get us wrong, but
absolutely.
it's all the same time could create a little bit of
Also
a,
saw the Starbucks, they have started.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Digging in.
yeah.
The Christian Lane one is a prototype. They're gonna recycle in place. It's gonna be touted as a experimental road and,
Oh, right, yeah,
Yeah,
because they're
we don't
doing,
want
right,
to.
they're doing a different process, right?
right.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. That should be good.
Good stuff.
Yeah, as another, I think well, everybody seems like they've accepted Starbucks, which is good, because another town, right, near us, was having a new Starbucks and people were complaining, the mayor of that town said, just what you said, like, well, yeah, it's progress, you're complaining about traffic, but that's what we want to see. We want to see more traffic because we want to see more folks visiting Berlin and whatever town that mayor was in, but which was a neighboring town, but. So that's a good thing. Then we've heard for years where we didn't support Starbucks. When I was on planning and zoning, the rumor always was we told them to leave, and that was never the case. They pulled out. That was their time when I think some of their, they had some issues. I think that's why they brought back their old CEO, if I recall, after all that. They closed stores and did all that. But that wasn't Berlin kicking them out, but that was themselves kicking them out. But anyway, other council communications? Nothing, just two quick things. How's the pension progress going for the PD?
Good, we're supposed to get, a draft mid, March or so.
Oh, good.
Another week or, and then we'll, meet as a group.
Oh, great. Oh, good.
And it-
That's great to hear. And how is cleaning out the records at town hall? So, when the police thing does come,
It's on schedule.
is that on schedule?
We've been
What-
working on the scanning.
Yeah. They've already started taking, the boxes out.
Oh, good.
So, Board of Ed, their records will be first, then it will be finance, and then we'll kind of roll into the other department. And also, we're going to go to, a new software Dropbox. So it's cheaper than what we're using with Laserfish.
Mm.
And, hopefully it will be great. A lot of people use Dropbox.
Right.
For photos and everything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Am I familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I don't know I know we don't have the figures yet. We're waiting on contractors and all that for the police department renovation, but when will that space be empty? I mean,
I want you just to remember.
Yeah.
that We're getting rid of a lot of stuff.
yes,
but we
right.
Can't get rid of every,
No.
and there's still gonna be space needed, but that project is slated to be completed July 1st.
Okay,
That was the plan, even with the previous
yeah,
construction, that the
okay,
bids will go out in May, they'll get prices back in June, and ready to hopefully start construction in July. So
right. So it'll be
30th.
completed once it's time to start the police project. Okay. But, so I know we have to save some of it. We're not saving it there, right? We're moving it somewhere?
We'll have to take over some of the room that's still with the town hall. With our section of it,
Okay, but that's not part of the police
no.
renovation, right? It's going in another piece of that spot.
we'll get it done.
Okay. I mean, we have storage space, I think, all around town for records,
We'll figure it out. This-
right?
You have to be very cautious at
Yes.
where you put some of these records. And that's the issue, if anybody downstairs, well, it's like, we're gonna scan as much as we can.
Yeah,
And whatever we can get rid of according to,
sure.
attention, we will. And then the other thing is that, I believe we have to develop some scanning policies. And once we do that, we can get rid of more. But the Board of Ed will be cleaned out. And with the Board of Ed, the other departments that are oversharing that will also be either cleaned out or moved. And then we'll move whatever we have to over to our section of, the vault downstairs.
Okay, but if something needs to be locked up, you could lock it up other places too, right? If we needed to. I mean, I'm assuming it needs to be secure somehow. The new high school comes to mind. It's very secure. They got cameras, they got rooms. You could probably secure it over there if you needed to. Or they have,
We can talk.
we can talk about that. Well, happy to talk about that. We can figure that out. But I think we have plenty of space around town that we could secure if it needs to be secured. I just worry that July 1st will come and go and it
Well,
won't
it's
be.
not- Yeah.
That's what I
So
worry
we're
about.
ready to roll.
Yes.
We're.
Okay,
you
okay.
gave us the marching orders.
No, that's good. No, I appreciate it.
and The contract.
Good.
They
Good.
already have started.
Great.
The worst case scenario, we take everything out and then we'll figure out where we put it, whatever we have to take it.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. And just one last issue, I'm sorry. So we could bring up with the golf commission, but I think it's important to figure out, because I know there's, we talked about it last time, the donations that were made for the 50th year anniversary is like $8,000. So my question is, it's 2 years later, what are they doing with the 8 grand? People made donations. And I'm not asking you this, so I just, but I mean, we need to either return it to folks or do something with it. So,
So they've intent got, last time they came up this, they won't have a clock.
the clock, yes.
It's gonna cost more than what the donations are, but
Okay.
I think they're doing well. If it tracks well, we can use some of their excess funds they might get this year.
To finish the clock.
donations, Finish the clock.
Okay,
And we asked them to go talk to all the donors, get it in writing that the money can now.
Oh,
go
good.
for The clock, because
right,
it's a donor intent that counts.
thank you. That's, yes,
And they
yes.
did that.
Oh,
So it's
good.
Documented, Gail
Good.
did a really nice job. It's ready to go.
Oh, good.
So we're waiting for a couple of more months and see if we can secure more funds.
Excellent.
And then I think we should, to
Yeah,
celebrate the 50th anniversary and do that, help out with the club.
yeah. No, that's,
All golf money. It's not coming from.
yeah, no. No, I just was concerned with the donations, that the people are happy with what is being done with their money. They were nice enough to donate a significant sum of
So,
funds.
so this clock is gonna be near the clubhouse, or where is this clock going?
It's a good time.
You'll be able to see like Big Ben.
Like Big Ben, Big Berlin, Big Ben, Big Berlin, Big Berlin.
Okay,
All right, no, that's great. No, thank you, Roche. I'm
At the start of the first and the 10th, there'll be a big clock so that.
happy to hear that.
I'm sure we'll see it when it gets up.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah,
excellent. Good. All right. Thank you very much. Were you a glutton for punishment? What's the story with that?
have enough?
You can't get enough? What's the story?
Saw you coming. We're trying.
We're trying to get out. Okay, we're out. So
It's too late, guys.
We need-
Not here.
we tried to get out before you got here. What we,
Already
sorry.
saw you and talked to you today twice. That's it. That's it.
So acceptance of minutes for the February 21st meeting.
We accept the minutes of the February 21st, 2023 meeting as presented.
Second.
I will second that.
Great. Any questions? Comments? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. And the last thing on our agenda is a motion to adjourn.
Oh gee, I don't know, boss.
Can you make a motion?
Motion.
So moved.
All those, all right, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, Donna.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, Jack.
No, I do too.
No,
No.
we're done.
Night, Jim Bob.
We're all done.
You get home before 9 o'clock.
Wow, look at this.
My way. I'm on my way.